I think being scared makes you feel alive.
Horror games were like a bonding experience for me and my friends.
It makes you live this trauma.
Putting that through the horror lens, dialing it up to 11.
And of course, I always love the viscera.
I think I got killed.
Seeing decapitation, seeing heads exploding.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God.
I literally jumped up out of my seat and like slammed the pause button.
I think horror in video games kind of goes back to like the beginning of video games.
The explosion of the video game craze hit us in 1983.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty rough for back then.
Scariest game in the arcades. It was so good.
Will this popularity last is the question. Well, the makers of video games are gambling that it will.
The label survival horror came in '96. Resident Evil, Biohazard. Oh, that's a scary game. But then everyone tried to understand what was the precursor.
Now we were like, we really got to finish this thing. We were scared to death.
サイレントヒルっていう企画ができた時に、このタイトルであれば僕はゲーム音楽っていうのを変える。
The publisher had to pull out of the contract, and we were like, okay, what do we do? What do we do?
It was a deeply emotional thing to write at the time.
You know, it felt like something that was made by people that are hurting.
Because I'm gonna get choked up about this.
This is so much more than I realized it was going to be.
We're into this era of digital storytelling where we have the ability to inject some of that reactivity and that life back into things.
What if we break that rule? What happens if we do that?
Video games are causing violence, and I'm like, oh yeah? I'll show you.
They really like twisted the nipples of horror games.
Okay, we're doing something good there.
Talk about identifying what scares gamers the most.
I'm just like sitting by my friend going,
The emotional playing that you have is a first-person emotional response.
It causes me to feel that thrill or that fear or that light.
It's almost more frightening when you have hope.
これをできるだけ両方味わいたいというか。
Yeah, okay, there's a sweet spot there. Let's push on this one.
I love this. I want to see more of it.
Oh my God, I gotta get out, I gotta stay alive, I gotta get out, I gotta stay alive.
I mean, I think it's pretty simple.
We're gonna scare ourselves to death.
Might as well go big or go home. Just make it ridiculous.
My name is Richard Moss, and I am the writer and director of TerrorBytes, The Evolution of Horror Gaming.
Hi, my name is Connor O'Kane, and I am the editor for TerrorBytes.
Hi, my name is Daniel Richardson, and I am a producer on TerrorBytes, The Evolution of Horror Gaming.
With TerrorBytes, I wanted to tell the story of horror gaming by really getting into what horror games mean to people.
There is something within horror games that is innately special in that even within the medium that they occupy, they are unlike anything else.
It's a genre that deals with aspects of the human condition and the human experience that other genres will shy away from or tap dance around.
So in a horror game, you're not a superhero, you're not a space marine, you're just you.
From about the age of 14, the idea of playing a horror game where, again, you're in the driver's seat, you are responsible for taking the next step, scared me to death.
Whatever it is that we're afraid of, they zero in on that. They force us to confront our fears, anxieties, our worries.
There was something about that experience of being that scared but also feeling compelled to try again and to push through that fear and see what is on the other side of it that kept me coming back.
Through playing them, we learn how to manage these things and become better, stronger people.
I have experienced true catharsis through horror games. I have overcome fears through horror games. I have overcome anxieties through horror games. I have grieved through horror games.
I think a documentary like this has the potential to live on the shelf of future horror gaming creatives as, you know, a Bible or a totem, you know, to refer back to whenever they feel lost.
It's a celebration of art. It's a celebration of artistry. It's a celebration of creativity. It is, to me, just joy. It is bottled joy across 5 episodes of just the most in-depth look into a medium that I love.
Being an episodic series creates a great opportunity to craft more narrative. We can take you on a journey through this more focused idea, like the rise and fall of FMV games and why these people thought that FMV was the future. And survival horror, of course. There's the narrative of where did this genre come from? What are some of the key games that have shifted it in different directions?
With TerrorBytes, I think the goal is really to kind of create a curated museum of horror gaming history. But the curator of that museum, the tour guides of that museum, are the people who made these things.
They've made things based on what actually scares them and keeps them up at night.
The reviews have been just outstanding across the board.
It's unlike anything I've worked on previously, honestly, and it's really exciting.
The passion, love, and appreciation for this genre myself and the team have poured into it is coming across in the final product.